Hello and welcome to another edition of Debatable here on godisgeek.com. My name is Colm and this week we're looking how the world is changing. It's evolving. Mainly for the good, the betterment of our services that we enjoy, the entertainment that we indulge in. But sometimes that entertainment comes at a cost. You probably know one, or maybe you're one yourself. Collectors. They're everywhere and collect absolutely everything. Some hawk their wares for a small fortune or a 50p piece years after acquisition, or some just have a ferocious amount of trinkets tucked away in their attic. Stamps, sticker books, films, video games. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Physical media, though, is quickly becoming a thing of the past, as us humans have subscriptions to absolutely everything. Spotify, Brazzers, Netflix, Edge and Game Informer on iPad, Brazzers, WWE Network, Hulu, Brazzers. On a monthly basis, our wages are sucked dry because of all of these little subscriptions adding up. And as a species, everyone seems okay with that. Over time, we've become accustomed to forking out a tenner here and a fiver there, so we get access to a whole host of on-demand service from a content provider. Video games history with the subscription model, though, it's been a bit spotty really, hasn't it? When it comes to forking over cash in order to have access to a game or multiplayer, sure, perfectly fine. Xbox Live charged you to play with lads and ladies in Netherlands, and you were fine with it because the service was stellar. Similarly, for the past 10 years, Blizzard has made a mint off of WoW subs. PlayStation Plus, of course, has been praised at almost every turn too. It's natural that some people want to get in on that sweet, sweet subscription cash. During the past week, everyone's favourite publisher of video games, Electronic Arts, and not at all 2-time champion of the Worst Company in North America award, beating out oil companies and banks who were in multiple controversies. They were in the thick of it. And EA, you still beat them. Well, they just announced EA Access. Coming to Xbox One, EA Access is a brand new subscription service where for $5 a month or $30 yearly, you'll have a number of games on demand. You'll get 2-hour trials to new titles 5 days before they are out to the general public, and you'll also get 10% off EA's digital content such as DLC or just buying the likes of Dragon Age via the Xbox Marketplace. It's currently in beta and will officially launch at an as of yet undetermined date. FIFA 14, Madden NFL 25, Peggle 2 and Battlefield 4 are currently available to those that are involved in the beta right now. And we're led to believe that sometime soon there will be a lot more games added to the service. Across the board, this has to be considered great value. Look, you're not going to get Mirror's Edge 2 on release date because that doesn't make business sense for Electronic Arts themselves. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy. That's not going to be on Netflix this weekend now, is it? But I'm sure that Faith's second adventure will be added a number of months after it has been on store shelves, because the games that are currently available on Xbox One via the beta of EA Access, well, they were released on the console less than a year ago, and that's positive for the consumer. If EA could find some way to get its back catalogue on Microsoft's shiny gen box, it would obviously make the deal more appealing, but I wouldn't hold your breath. If you're in any way a sports fan of some sort, you are getting your money's worth here. You download these titles to your box and you play them at your ease. All in all, it's a very good deal. But Sony doesn't think so. After the announcement, there was much confusion over why the PlayStation 4 wasn't being mentioned about this whole EA Access thing. Well, thankfully, Sony themselves went to Game Informer to clear it up. We evaluated the EA Access subscription offering and decided that it does not bring the kind of value PlayStation customers have come to expect. PlayStation Plus memberships are up more than 200% since the launch of PlayStation 4, which shows that gamers are looking for memberships that offer a multitude of services across various devices for one low price. We don't think asking our fans to pay an additional $5 a month for this EA-specific program represents good value to the PlayStation gamer. It's understandable really why Sony would feel a bit threatened about EA Access, because right now, the games that EA are offering, like FIFA or Madden, they appeal to a more broader audience than some of the PlayStation Plus titles that have been released on PlayStation 4 over the past couple of months, say like Don't Starve or Outlast. PlayStation Plus is a fantastic service and one I've personally championed since its inception all those years ago. But Sony, fuck off. You've created this rapport with your audience that wasn't there during the majority of the PS3 era, so don't fuck it up. The video game playing public, by and large, trust what the PlayStation people tell them ever since the PS4 was revealed in February of 2013. They've seemed to be pro-consumer, while Microsoft has lost a lot of their audience because of poor messaging. However, the consumer is clever enough to make up their own mind. If the EA Access program was available on PlayStation 4, it doesn't mean that you watching this at home has to subscribe to it. You just have the option to do so. But then, I suppose Sony are trying to launch their own Netflix sort of thing. Sort of. Currently in open beta in North America, PlayStation Now is causing people a bit of grief because of its pricing structure. Rather than pay a monthly subscription to access countless games a la Netflix, you rent these games for 4 hours, 5 days, 30 days or 90 days. Each duration that's a little longer costs a little bit more. And by a little, I mean way too fucking much. As this video from Polygon shows, Final Fantasy XIII can be rented for 3 months at $15. Kotaku's Jason Schreier points out that F1 2013 costs $50 to rent for 90 days on the service, and if you want the excellent Deus Ex Human Revolution for the same amount of time, it'll cost you $30. I'm gonna make a phone call. Two seconds. Hi, how are you? I'm just wondering if I could price a couple of PlayStation 3 games.
Yeah, cool. What are they?
Deus Ex Human Revolution is one of them.
Yeah. That is $19.99 new or $6.99 used.
Right. F1 2013.
Yeah, 2 seconds there now. That is $24.99 new or $19.10 used.
Okay. And the last one is Final Fantasy 13.
Final Fantasy 13 is $19.99 new or $14.99 used.
Right, okay. Okay, that's perfect. Thanks very much for your time.
Alright, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This a la carte structure is old-fashioned and broken. Senior Director of PlayStation Now, Jack Buser, has stated that the PlayStation folks have heard the criticism and are looking at a subscription model for users. If they do eventually give that option to users, they better price it competitively. To use the Netflix example again, I get access to a ridiculous amount of TV shows, films and documentaries for less than $10 a month. Less than $10. If I watch a couple of episodes of House of Cards, maybe I watch, I don't know, The Avengers, a stand-up gig, a documentary, I've gotten my value straight away. PlayStation Now has the potential to be something massive. EA can't offer you what Sony can, a myriad of video games from multiple publishers. Initially, when PlayStation Now was announced, there was also rumblings we'd be able to play PS1 and PS2 games, making the service even more appealing. But as of right now, Sony are keeping a bit stum on this, which is a little bit disappointing. Do you subscribe to the notion that physical media is going away? Because you should. Spotify covers your music, Netflix covers your films and TV. Video games? PlayStation Now has the potential to do something similar, but unless they follow the examples of the aforementioned services by pricing it attractively, I wouldn't go to Dickinson and giving him your old consoles just yet. And now for my favourite part of the show, it's where you voice your opinion on what I've said on the week previous. Now, 2 weeks ago, I looked at Dota 2 and whether it was a sport or not. I say 2 weeks ago because last Monday in Debatable Spot, I did a definitely the top 5 games of 2014 so far video. If you haven't seen it, it'd be great if you did have a look at it. I'm going to put a link probably on my face. So if you click on my face, you'll be taken to that video and have a look and see if you agree with my opinions of the best games of 2014 so far. But also, I should say, the technology is incredible, and here at Debatable headquarters, we are coming up with new ways to show you more content and stuff. If you noticed, this episode was a little bit different. You got to see more of my beautiful face. And also, I have gotten my eyes tested recently, and I do have 21/20 vision. So therefore, I am able to, when the comments come up in the video, I'm actually able to see them now. Amazing, I know. So I can quote you directly on what you've said about my Dota 2 video and whether it's a sport or not rather than an actual e-sport. Now, first of all, let me just have a look here. The comment is appearing before my very eyes. 123 Ali D said darts, snooker, pool, fucking synchronized swimming. Is swimming a sport? It's a survival skill that helps prevent drowning. Make it a competitive. Make it competitive, and it's a sport. So why shouldn't the same apply to video games? But who gives a shit what it's classified as? Just do it. And in a similar fashion, we had a comment from Nobily. Thanks, Nobily. And Nobily says, does it really matter? Poker gets a lot of respect and is extremely popular, but it's a game. Why does it matter if some TV show says it's not a sport? It doesn't diminish from the effort or skill involved in the activity, but personally I think it's a game. Now, esports, as I said in the Dota 2 episode, is, well, its roots go back a long time, go back to like the 1972, I think it was, with Space War. But in its current incarnation, with the massive money behind it, it's a relatively new thing. Say, if you just take League of Legends and you take Dota 2, there's a lot of money being pumped into it, and we do see it kind of garnering a bigger audience, which is great, which is fantastic. It's good to see, just see new things, innovation. So it's always good. Now, the Nobily, you said, you know, who both Nobily and 123 LED kind of said, yeah, it's you know, who kind of gives a shit, but it's a game. To be honest, like as I said in the Dota 2 episode, when you look at the definition of sport, it is kind of hard to actually not call Dota 2 a sport, because there are many things in that definition that do apply to the game of Dota 2. Now, is it just a video game that people play competitively, therefore earning the moniker of esports? Yes, but is it a sport as well? Very, very difficult to say. It's something that we will be discussing for years to come, I'd imagine, and that's good. Generating debate on video games itself, whether this is a sport or not. And it's a discussion that will be very, very interesting as more games get popular to the point of becoming popular esports. Like Valve are potentially looking at making Counter-Strike say something on the level of a Dota 2 in terms of popularity, which, I mean, that's one thing. First-person shooters, for some reason, have never really kind of taken off in the same way as a MOBA, for whatever reason. Like Call of Duty, yeah, there is an esports community around it, but fucking hell, it's nowhere near something like Dota 2 or League. So if somebody was to make a first-person shooter popular on that level, maybe it is Valve, you know, when you look at the international. So thank you very much 123 LED and Nobly for commenting about the Dota 2 video. But I want to know what maybe the two of you and maybe loads more think about this week's video, where I looked at PlayStation Now and EA Access. And there are multiple ways in which you can comment and let me know how much of an asshole I am, and I have a very, very wrong opinion. First of all, you can comment under this here video on YouTube, or you can go to the comment section of the article on godisgeek.com, or you can tweet me at Colm_Ahern, and if your opinion is something worth sharing, I will do that. Because, like, what you saw on this show, and past shows, and future shows, look, it's just my opinion and my opinion alone, and I want to hear yours, because my opinion is always debatable.